We respectfully acknowledge that the land on which the Lake Country Museum is situated, where this lesson was developed and this video recorded, is on the unceded territory of the Syilx Okanagan people. Thank you. Many European settlers were arriving in the Okanagan Valley. Before any European arrived, the Syilx nation was present in the area. To both groups, it was very important to provide a place to pasture their livestock, meaning they needed a place to keep their livestock fed. Between Lake Country and Wood Lake, there was a large stretch of land that was not being used. That land was turned into what they called the Commonage. Before we continue, the word Commonage is a combination of two words, common and pasturage, meaning that this area was a common pasture for everyone to use. In 1877, the BC Commissioners passed a decision to establish the Commonage in the Lake Country area, among other reserves for the Indigenous people. The Commonage was reserved for winter grazing by the cattle of both the Syilx people and the European settlers. No system for policing the cattle grazing on the Commonage was established, simply because it wasn't needed. The system worked well, but it did not last for too long. In 1889, a new agreement was reached within the British Columbia's Chief Commissioner of Land and Works and the Indian Reserve Commissioner. The new agreement stated that the BC government would take over the Commonage, and in return it would establish an Indian reserve on the west side of Okanagan Lake. This meant that the land was no longer available for the Syilx people to use. The problem was, in these conversations that made this decision, only the European settlers were present, not the Syilx people. After, the government had the Commonage surveyed and then divided into quarter sections. Then they put those up for sale, which attracted a variety of farmers and business people to develop and use the land how they saw fit. This became very different from the shared land it used to be. No agreement was ever made with the Syilx nation to change the usage of the Commonage. All the decisions were made without their consent. Just over 100 years after the change, Okanagan Indian band leader Murray Alexis of the Syilx nation brought a land claim for the Commonage area forward to the BC government. The land claim for title to the Commonage has yet to be resolved. This is one example of why we call the Okanagan area the unceded territory of the Syilx nation. This is because the land was taken away from the Syilx people without any kind of agreement or discussion. When it comes to working with people and making agreements, this is why communication and respect between all the people involved is so important, especially with big deals involving people's possessions and land usage.